The causes of happiness. Lesson 5. How do you respond to unjust criticism? In life, all of us face criticism. People criticize our words, our character, our actions, our behavior. Sometimes this criticism is valid. If you listen carefully, you realize they are telling the truth. You could have done that thing better. But sometimes you encounter inappropriate, unjust criticism, taunts, insults, even slander and false accusations. In such situations, a person falls into despair. They lose motivation for the work they are doing. They drop their hands. Their spirit is crushed. So, how should a believer respond to such unjust criticism? People, the foolish and the ignorant, even insulted and mocked the Creator Himself, the one and only God. If people treat God in such a way, what should you and I expect from people of such character? If you have achieved something in life, reached success, attained good things that others have not, you will certainly face bitter, unjust criticism, insults, and even slander and false accusations. You will encounter people engaged in such behavior. Such people existed before, they exist now, and they will exist after. When they start criticizing you, it means you have now discovered that such people exist, because they only start criticizing once you have achieved something. You achieved a little success, your business is going well, your reputation grew, something came into your hands. Now watch, you will see that such people exist. These kinds of people never rest until they find a crack to slip through, or until they find a ladder to climb up and feel elevated. As long as you and I live among such people, we must be prepared for things that will bring tears to our eyes, for words that will hurt us. They will not leave us in peace, because every person who has blessings is envied. Did you buy a new car on your own? If you ride a new car, they talk. If you walk on foot without a car, they say, "Look, he's on foot now." A person sitting still, do the fallen not kick them? Brothers, yes, mistakes can happen. Everyone makes them. A person walking upright can stumble. Errors happen to all of us. There are people who criticize rightly, and there are people who criticize unjustly. There are such people. If you surpass them in knowledge, in manners, in gathering wealth, in their eyes you become a sinner. Your only fault is that you moved ahead of them. They will never leave you in peace until you are separated from the achievements and blessings God has given you. They will not leave you alone until every praiseworthy quality of yours, every sign of your greatness, is taken away, until you become like them, lazy, miserable, foolish, senseless, unreasonable, finished and done. They want exactly that, because you moved ahead of them. Be patient with their unjust criticism and envy, brother, great rewards await you. Furthermore, their unjust criticism of you raises your value. Because what is done to a person of no value? Are they envied? You understand, right? If you are doing something for the sake of the hereafter, for reward, for religion, for the people, for the country, and you listen to a few foul, empty words and abandon it, you have given them exactly what they wanted. So you must be patient, steadfast against their unjust criticism, insults, and slander. Stand firm. Like the mountain of Uhud. A large boulder stands firm to prove its existence and strength. Stand like that boulder, brother. If someone throws an axe at such a boulder, the axe hits the stone and shatters to pieces. Likewise, if you stand firm, the words of such people will come and crumble to nothing. Pay no attention to their words. If you pay attention, become affected, feel distressed, get agitated, you have given them what they wanted. Ignore them, and they will lose their energy. Whether you speak or stay silent, they keep going. Whether you respond or not, they keep going. But if you simply continue your work, they will exhaust themselves and fade away. So what is the answer to such people? Simply continuing your work without paying attention. What do these people want? Exactly this: for your life and your time to be ruined, for you to be unhappy. Now let me give examples from the life of our prophet and from the lives of the prophets. These lessons, as we said at the beginning of the series, if you open your heart and accept them, if you firmly place the measures and understandings being shared here into your heart and live by them, you will be a happy person. The key is the right measure and understanding. If your measure and understanding are correct, you will be the happiest person in the world. Because people like these, they can do nothing themselves. They are of no benefit to anyone. They have achieved nothing in life. Their only occupation is sitting and judging others. Let us refer to the life of our prophet. When the prophet was preparing the army for the expedition of Tabuk, the last major campaign of his life, 30,000 soldiers were gathered. The prophet called on Muslims to donate and give charity to equip this army. Some brought large amounts of money. Some brought smaller amounts. They brought everything they had. Then there were the hypocrites, sitting on the side, watching someone who brought only a small amount, 2 kilograms of dates for an army of 30,000, and saying, "Is that even charity? Is he really bringing that? Doesn't he think?" And yet these are people who themselves gave nothing. Then when a companion brought a large amount, they said, showing off, "He's doing it to be seen." They themselves gave nothing. Notice, people who criticize everyone, judge everyone, gossip about everyone, they themselves do nothing. Is that not true? Where is our fault? Our fault is in paying attention to such people and raising their value. If these people were to be compared to a tree, they are a tree with no shade, no coolness, no leaves, no fruit. If you pay attention to their meaningless words, brother, you raise their price. Therefore, pay no attention to them. If you want to silence them, if you want to answer them, what should you do? Become even more successful in your work. Reach even greater achievements. Conquer even greater heights. That is your answer to them. That is how their mouths will be sealed. If you abandon your work because of them, you give them what they want. Because you do not ruin your clothes fighting with a flea. God says, "O Muhammad, do not grieve over them and do not be distressed by their scheming." Be aware of this, brother. Do not let your heart be distressed by their scheming. Pay no attention to them. Because the caravan moves on while the dog barks. Look, the caravan leader is leading the caravan. It carries goods that are needed by the people and the nation. If while leading the caravan, he stops at every barking dog and throws a stone at each one, what happens? The caravan stops. The goods never reach their destination. The trusts are wasted. And with so many dogs, the stones run out. He ends up having to throw 2 coins worth of stone at each one. Be grateful, brother. Be grateful that you are the caravan carrying useful goods for the people. Be grateful that God did not make you one of those dogs. Pay no attention to them. Their unjust criticism only raises your value. It comes according to your honor and standing in society. Just do not drop your hands. Because such people existed before you and will exist after you. Brother, stones are thrown at the fruit-bearing tree. No one throws stones at a fruitless tree, at a poplar. Such people, those who criticize unjustly, who slander and insult, even found faults with the Prophet Muhammad, the best of all creation. When the Prophet was distributing the spoils of war, a man came and said, "There was no justice in this. O Muhammad, fear God." The Prophet replied, "Woe to you! If I am not just, who will be just? The people of the sky trust me, the angels trust me, and you do not." Then the man said, "Muhammad did not seek God's face in this." Ibn Mas'ud said, "I went to the Prophet and conveyed this man's words. The Prophet's face changed from displeasure. Then he said, 'May God have mercy on Moses. He was hurt even more than this and was patient.' What harm did Moses's people cause him? Let me give examples about how to respond to unjust criticism. People insult God. Even while receiving so many blessings from God, they say God has a son, God has a wife, and insult him. From people of such a nature, what should you and I expect? About Moses, God says, and our prophet tells us, Moses was shown patience even when he faced even harsher difficulties. What did Moses's people say to him? "O you who believe, do not be like those who harmed Moses." God cleared him of what they said, and he was honorable in God's sight. In a widely agreed upon narration, our prophet tells of one of the harms the children of Israel caused Moses. The children of Israel used to bathe together naked, looking at one another's private parts. But Moses, being a modest person, would bathe alone. So the children of Israel said, "By God, Moses avoids bathing with us only because he has a skin disease on his body." They accused him of having a condition. Who are they accusing? Moses, the one who took them out of slavery, who showed 9 miracles in Egypt, who split the sea, drowned Pharaoh, their own prophet, who had saved them from so many calamities. And who is accusing him? The children of Israel, his own people. The prophet tells us, One day Moses went to bathe. He took off his clothes and placed them on a rock. As soon as he did, the rock took his clothes and ran away. The rock began to move. A miracle of God. Moses ran after the rock, shouting, "My clothes, rock! My clothes, rock!" running while naked, chasing his clothes. The children of Israel saw Moses in this condition and said, "By God, Moses has no fault." Then he took his clothes, and struck the rock with his staff. Abu Hurairah said, "Verily, in that rock there are 6 or 7 marks left by Moses' strikes." What should we expect from people of such a nature? If this is how they treated Moses, what can we say? Moses prayed to God, "Lord, hold back the people's tongues from speaking evil of me. Lord, make it so they never speak ill of me again." This is possible for God. God is capable of this. God replied, "O Moses, I have not made that even for myself. Even if they insult me and mock me, I do not destroy them, I continue to provide for them. You, brother, cannot close their mouths. You cannot bind their tongues. But you can stop their criticism, through indifference, through ignoring them, and bury their words under your success. Say to them, die with your hatred. If you think you will please everyone, if you think everyone will love you, if you think you will be free of all faults in everyone's eyes, you have desired 3 impossible things. You have sought something unattainable. Because as the wise say, pleasing people is a goal that can never be reached. A Western writer once said, when you do the right thing, turn away from any petty, unjust criticism. Do not respond to words that hurt you. Do not respond to articles or poems written against you. Because half of the people who read the criticism of you have already forgotten it. And the other half never heard or read it at all. Do not grieve. If you try to write a rebuttal to the unjust criticism written against you, most people will not understand your rebuttal, because they do not even know what you are rebutting in the first place. So do not stir up the topic by writing rebuttals. Leave it. Leave it. It will die out on its own. And these days it has become common. So and so replied to that person, put it in front of that person, silenced that person. He cuts out a lecture that scholar gave 7 years ago and claims to be responding to him. That scholar has nothing to do with that person, does not even know that person exists. And people always say, any topic's relevance fades after 3 days. After 3 days, people forget. If you leave it alone, it disappears in 3 days. If you write a rebuttal, you reheat a pot that had already cooled. Understood? Do not respond. Leave it. In the end, who wins? If you write a rebuttal, those envious people win. A wise man once said, people are so busy finding faults in each other that they have completely forgotten that you and I even exist. They are so occupied with correcting their own existence that they would not even notice if you and I died. Be a little patient. This too shall pass. Have you not seen dark clouds scatter, strong winds stop, scorching heat and bitter cold both come to an end? Be patient. This too shall pass. Because rain does not fall forever. God says, they cannot harm you at all except for some distress. They can only tighten your heart, irritate your nerves, but they can do nothing more. Do not obey the disbelievers and hypocrites. Pay no attention to their harm and distress, and place your trust in God. God alone is a sufficient guardian and protector. Such people existed before, they exist now, and they will exist after. Now, brother, you have learned how to deal with the unjust criticism of lowly, base, and senseless people. Leave them to themselves. If even God is treated this way by such people, if even their own prophets were treated this way, what should you and I expect from them? Pay no attention to them.